So AEW has a Roman Reigns problem with Jade Cargill. Want to know how or why? Stay tuned. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ramon, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Wrestle Geek, brought to you by Unscripted Wrestling Media. So, for today's show, we're going to talk about the problem that AEW has with Jade Cargill. Now, everyone knows Jade Cargill was or is the inaugural TBS champion. She won the title back on January 5th, 2022. Since then, or prior to that, she was already undefeated. But since winning the championship, she has amassed a total amount of wins at I don't want to say surprising or alarming, but overall, she is 41-0. Think about that. It's only been a few wrestlers, at least that I can remember, currently in my lifespan of the last 20 plus years of watching wrestling that have amassed win streaks, that high. Obviously, Goldberg is one, Asuka, currently Roman Reigns, Jade Cargill. Would I say her? Now, we'll talk about her in a hot second. The other issue with Jade Cargill is that her average match time is about 4 to 8 minutes. Now, for someone who's holding a championship, I'm going to be 100% honest with you, that's not impressive to me. Now, of course, it's impressive to a fact that she dominates every single opponent and just, wipes the floor with them, and that's cool, that's fine if you're into that. However, me personally, when I'm thinking of someone holding a championship, I need to see if they can go the distance in a match, if they can really put on something worth watching. And if you're averaging 4 to 8 minutes match time, I already know what the outcome is going to be. So why even stay tuned? Why should I be invested? Why should I even watch? I know what the outcome is going to be. So the problem that I alluded to earlier in the intro of this video is AEW has a Roman Reigns problem. The difference is WWE has an in-game and a solution with the Roman Reigns situation as the reigning, defending, undisputed champion. As far as I can see with AEW, I don't see a solution for Jade Cargill. The most likely solution that we possibly thought we were going to see was when she took on Athena, right? However, she dusted Athena off in less than 5 minutes? So much for that. So now the question arises, who are you going to use to beat Jade Cargill? Who are you going to use for Jade Cargill to elevate to the next level for the TBS championship? Because she has pretty much ran through every single woman in the division. Who are you going to bring in? It's not that many free agents left on the market that are going to be big enough to make a splash. Rumors are already talking that Tegan Knox is heading back to WWE. Chelsea Green is heading back to WWE. Sasha Banks is still apparently under contract to WWE. However, negotiations have fell through, as multiple sites have reported. Naomi, we haven't heard really anything about her. But being honest, I don't think I can fathom a situation of seeing Naomi going over to AEW when she's currently married to Jimmy Uso, right? And the other reason behind that is, given the new direction of the WWE regime, under Triple H, I feel like Naomi could and would be booked significantly better if she were to return to WWE. Now, likewise, if she were to go to AEW, there would be a major benefit in the upside for her doing so. However, like I said, I just don't see it. So now back to the question: who is going to beat Jade Cargill? Right? I think probably the most compelling match that we're currently building up to would be Jade versus Nyla Rose. Right? Nyla Rose sold the championship. This has been an ongoing thing for the last couple of weeks, so we get it. So with that situation, we see someone that can actually physically match the power of Jade Cargill in the ring, which to us as fans would help with the suspended belief that it's going to be an actual entertaining match, right? There's no way possible that we're going to see Jade Cargill just dust off Nyla Rose in under 15 minutes. Or so we think. Really don't know, right? But Nyla Rose beating Jade, from a booking standpoint, I don't think that's a good idea. And I'm just going to be real with you. So here's the issue. Or let me give you another situation. If you watch WWE, if you watch NXT, did you know that Mandy Rose has just hit the 1 year mark? I think she's north of 370 plus days as the NXT Women's Champion, right? Now, with that situation, it's dramatically different. From a booking perspective, some people may get mad. I don't know. If I'm right, hit the comments, let me know. If I'm wrong, hit the comments, let me know. But from a booking perspective, I'm literally going to say that Mandy Rose has been booked way better than Jade Cargill. And given the fact that she's been booked better, I'm going to say that Mandy Rose is a better performer than Jade Cargill, based solely on the booking, right? We're not taking any other factors into consideration. Although I will say from an athletic standpoint, at least in ring performing, Mandy Rose, from what we've been able to see, has improved like dramatically. It is crazy how much better she has gotten since returning to NXT. Promos, wrestling ability, the whole package has improved. We've seen Mandy Rose go the distance. We've seen her, have incredible matches, right? But the thing that makes Mandy Rose booking better than Jade is that while, albeit, Mandy Rose oftentimes has solicited the help of Toxic Attraction to win matches to retain her championship, where Jade Cargill is just dominating females off rip, no help needed, right? We see a possible, I don't want to say ending, but we see where Mandy Rose and the NXT Women's Championship run is going, right? Currently, she's in this long-standing feud with Alba Fyre, right? So it's natural to assume that Alba Fyre is going to be the one to knock off Mandy Rose. However, I'm kind of that person that likes to pay attention to details. If you go back to the NXT from this past week and you look at the celebration for Mandy, if you really notice, Gigi Dolan, she was kind of giving Mandy, I don't want to say a side eye, but her facial expressions were kind of telling a different picture. Which, if we were to take that right there alone and run with it, then now you can see another possibility of perhaps Toxic Attraction breaking up, or Gigi Dolan turning her back on the group, attacking Mandy Rose, and therefore setting up a program between her and Mandy for the championship, in which NXT could possibly use Mandy to put Gigi Dolan over, which would then allow Mandy to possibly exit the company, well, not the company, but to exit NXT and go up to the main roster, right? That's one scenario. Or she could finally put Alba Fyre over. That's another scenario. Either which way it go, we see possible end scenarios with Mandy Rose, right? And from a booking perspective, both of those are credible scenarios. They are. Now, could NXT be holding off on allowing Mandy to drop the belt because they have someone else built up? Quite possibly. There's quite a few different female contenders that would possibly be good to knock Mandy off. I think one of the most obvious ones would be Nikita Lyons. You know, um, now going back to Jade, matter of fact, let's go to the Jade Roman Reigns comparison that I was mentioning earlier. With the Jade and Roman Reigns comparison, we're essentially seeing almost the same situation, except with the Roman Reigns situation, we see more of the same thing I just alluded to with Mandy Rose, right? But with Roman, we already know the end game for his championship run. Allegedly, hopefully, you got Roman versus The Rock at WrestleMania next year, right? However, because WWE recently has been doing way better jobs with their booking, you got a couple of different scenarios with Roman dropping that championship if you cannot get The Rock at WrestleMania. All of those scenarios are, in my opinion, from a storytelling standpoint, great. You got you got four different possible opponents that Roman Reigns can drop that title to at WrestleMania, and I will pay money to see any one of those four matches outside of him and The Rock. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, turn on your notifications for your boy, so that way when I post content, you'll be able to see it, because I'm actually going to do a whole nother video about Roman Reigns and the Bloodline and how great that is and the world of possibilities that WWE has done with that. Back to the topic at hand. So that's Roman, but Jade, who? I don't foresee Nyla being Jade. I've said that once, I say it again. I don't foresee Nyla being Jade. I do foresee, however, and if Tony Khan is smart, this is definitely what he should do, right? You may not have Nyla go over Jade for the title, but at least what you can do is book and produce the match to a point where Jade is actually pushed to the limit. Because I think that's maybe the final thing that we actually need to see from her from a character development standpoint. We need to see her physically pushed to the limit in the ring and actually be able to dominate after being dominated for the majority of the match. If we can see that, if we get that alone from Nyla versus Jade, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But, however, I'm still going to be wondering who are we setting this thing up to drop to Jade, because we can't go backwards. We can't use Athena. Can't do that. I don't foresee Britt Baker going down to the TBS Championship picture after being so prominent with the AEW Women's Championship. I just thought about this. Could it be possible that AEW is setting up a situation where Saraya goes over Jade for the TBS Championship? I think that may be a possible situation. And if that's the case, I'll be willing to rock with that. I really would be. Saraya, because it makes for a perfect storytelling perspective, right? She fights through the adversity. She's essentially a female Daniel Bryan in a sense, or Bryan Danielson, whatever you choose to call him. Fights through the adversity of not being cleared by the doctors, having to retire early, the long journey, all that, the deep storytelling stuff. She comes back. She has this triumphant comeback where she just accumulates win after win, and before you know it, you have her facing off against Jade in what would essentially be the ultimate underdog storyline, at least for that championship that I can see right now. And then you have Saraya go over Jade. Now, if that's the direction that Tony Khan is going for, then I'm gonna need him to pick the pace up. I know that he's a big fan of long-term booking, right? We saw it with Hangman Page. We've seen it with a few others, and I'm cool with that. I'm good with all that. However, you're running the risk of you're running the risk of having a lot of people just lose interest in Jade. Really, you know, it's only it's only so much that you're going to be able to do with Jade and the baddies. Let's just be honest. I mean, do I want to say this? Bump it out, say it. Of course, they're always great eye candy to look at on your screen. We know this. However, again, it's only so much that you're going to do with them to keep fans interested in her, the championship, because at this rate, you're borderline teetering on the edge of devaluing that championship. You've put no significant storylines behind that championship at all. It's just all been matches based off win-loss records. I think Athena may have been the most significant storyline. However, in my opinion, it was short-lived. It wasn't really long enough for us to sink our teeth into, to really get emotionally invested into, or to really buy into. So I think we're kind of going that road with Nala versus Jade, but at the same time, we need some more chapters to develop in this storyline if that's what we're going to do. But if we don't start getting some credible booking with Jade Cargill in the ring, if we don't start getting that final level of her character development together in the ring, then as sure as I'm sitting here, as sure as I'm recording this, fans are gonna tune out. We're gonna lose interest, and it's gonna be evident in the lack of reaction she gets when she comes down to the ring. It's gonna be evident in the lack of interaction that she starts to get on her social media, or the uptick in criticism that she may start to get on some of her social media platforms. And why? You're doing nothing with her. Now, like I said, I give Jade props. She was a great athlete, phenomenal physique, great look, promo skills are coming along rather well. Although I think I would like to see Jade versus Sasha Banks on the mic. I just want to see who can call each other BITCH the most aggressively. But again, when talking about wrestling, the in-ring component of a competitor is a major, major factor in the fans' ability to get behind that person. And as far as I can see, Jade is not all the way there yet. It's no fault of her own. It's solely based off the booking and production of her matches. So, we got to get Jade to that next level. She has the potential to be a franchise player in that women's division for that company. But if we do not get her to the next level by the time she drops this championship, it will probably be one of the biggest mistakes that Tony Khan has made since starting AEW. Alright, that's going to do it for today's episode of Wrestle Geek. Again, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click that bell icon, turn on notifications so when I post content, you will be sure to get notified. And until next time, stay savage, my friends.